Sometimes it's unavoidable. No matter how carefully you shave, yep, razor bumps, burn, or rash. Let's drop a little knowledge to help you avoid and defeat those bumps and groom with impunity. Real men get it done. All right, so let's get right into it because I always get questions about shaving, sensitive skin, how to avoid or prevent razor burns. So I want to help the bros out in this video. So first things first, what actually causes razor burn? And in short, it's damage to our hair follicle. So when our hair follicles, when we use razor specifically, whether it's a 3, 4, 5 blade razor, and it goes across the head, that razor could cause irritation to the hair follicle, and it results in it getting inflamed, turning red, and that transitioning to some type of burn, bump, or rash from using the actual razor. So how do we prevent the razor bumps from happening, the burn from happening? In order to prevent it, in short, you want to try to do everything you can to limit irritation from A to Z. So what do I mean by that? It all starts with your whole process of how you shave. And that's definitely for even your beard area or even to the top of your head, but specifically for us when we have, bald heads, which requires a lot of shaving. You have to take care of what you're doing from A to Z. I want to go over my process because I think I have developed some good tips and tricks that definitely can help you out. First thing is first, I like to start with a dry shave. So I may switch, or a lot of times I'll use both of them, my wireless Andes Pro Liners or my fade masters, my Andes fade masters. I'll have all of my links in the description. And if I leave something out, just let me know. I love howling at you guys. But I start off with a dry shave. The reason that being is, remember, we're trying to do everything we can to limit irritation. So the dry razor or the dry shave is not going to cut underneath the hair follicles on your head or on your beard. So it provides less irritation. So I want to get all the stubble off of my head, move forward with my next step, which usually is a head wash. So I'm cleaning my head after I do a quick dry shave to make sure it's free from debris. Again, avoiding limiting irritation. Then I'm gonna move forward to my shave gel. I have a Target brand of Aveeno for sensitive skin. It has a good oatmeal and vitamin E that's in there. That's a good fit. And usually just wash my head with some like Neutrogena, if not shampoo, but Neutrogena deep cleaner. This is a Walmart version of it, just to have a good clean head before I apply the shaving gel. Then I'm gonna transition to my Gillette Skin Guard. I love the Gillette Skin Guard because, as I said, as other razors may have 3+ blades, this only has 2, and they specifically have built-in lubrication and everything. It really does an awesome job of preventing that irritation that I was talking about that happens from some of those other razors that folks like to use. So after that, I definitely want to apply a topical agent to seal in all of my pores and to make sure that it cleans the head after it's all said and done. And so my number one go-to is Bump Patrol that a lot of us like to use. So that is my process from A to Z to hopefully prevent and avoid razor bumps, rashes, or burns as I maintain my bald head. Unfortunately, had some technical difficulties and lost the footage of me actually shaving my head, but just inserted another videos of footage. So my process remains the same, but just wanted to show you guys how I get down in terms of shaving, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so I'm all done. As I said, Bump Patrol, my go-to. So as I'm putting my Bump Patrol, let's talk a little bit about how do you treat when it does happen and you do get that razor burn, that razor bump, that razor rash. So there's a few things you can do. First of all, as I said, before we want to limit the irritation, now we want to heal the irritation, the inflammation. And you could do that by getting something like a hydrocortisone, something that has an anti-inflammatory in it, and that's really mild. It won't necessarily burn your skin. So over-the-counter hydrocortisone, even the Walmart, Target brand, doesn't have to be the brand name version of it, but that is a good way to heal inflammation if it happens. Also, a couple other things you can do is let your hair actually grow out. I know sometimes we want to avoid having maybe that rough look, but if you have irritated skin, one way it can heal is just like letting it do its own thing. So let your hair grow out could be another way to help heal if you've gotten some razor burn. Another thing I would also suggest, and I've told people this as well, is not to shave every day. So if your routine is shave every day, maybe switch it up to every other day. And also switch up how you shave. So I mentioned, a lot of people, they love maybe the one blades. Some of these other brands are out there and you may shave with it regularly, but maybe on occasion get razor burn, rash, on occasion. So you may want to switch up your routine. So every other time you use something like a skin guard, so it's not cutting as close to your head. And also, as I said, I use a dry shave. I love the Andes personally. Using something like this in your rotation. So maybe one day you're using a wet shave, the next time you're doing dry shave. It won't be as close, even if you're using the Gillette skin guard, but to the human eye, it will look fine. It'll look great. It'll look good. But you who may shave all the time, you may just feel like, oh, it's not as close as I want it, but that's okay. Remember, our whole point, our whole goal is to avoid the irritation, the inflammation. So 3 of those things definitely could be a good fit. There are some electric razors out there. I will say this, I actually love using clippers instead of the electric razors, because even with my skin being sensitive, I found out that I still break out with the electric shavers. I have an Andes gold foil shaver, and people swear by this because it gets real close and tight to the skin, but I still break out from it. So just as I mentioned, that usually happens if you have, for me, sensitive skin, and even when it's cutting my hair, it's still maybe pulling at those hairs and causing some inflammation. So this doesn't work for me. But if I use this as a dry shave method, I'm usually good and don't have any issues with inflammation or getting bumps or anything. All right, so final takeaways from all of this. Sometimes it's unavoidable. We can do everything we can to help reduce it. A couple of takeaways that I also wanted to mention is avoid pulling your skin. Sometimes I know we try to get that tight shave and may pull our skin different ways. Avoid that. That definitely can help. You saw me first shave in the direction of, then I went the opposite direction. If you're suffering from razor burn or you're trying to prevent it and you're a newbie, definitely just keep shaving with how your hair grows. Most side of our hair will grow kind of down and the top will grow kind of straight. So go with the grain. With the Gillette skin guard, it allows you to go against the grain because it's not as sharp as some of the other razors. Remember, if you're using a 4-blade, 5-blade, that's like going over the same spot 8 times if you go first time like this and then you go back over it another time when you reshave it again. So rinse your blade frequently. That also helps, and then change out your blade. I only use my Gillette skin guard blade twice, and I'll rotate it. Again, you may use it more than that, less than that, but definitely keep your blade cleaned as you're shaving and rotate that blade out to keep it nice and fresh. And just remember, the goal is to reduce the inflammation and to reduce your hair follicles being damaged by shaving. So it's okay to sometimes take a break between shaves and to mix up the routine just to prevent the razor burn, rash, and the bumps. So I think that's it for now. Take care, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and rocking with me, and all the questions, all the comments. I really do appreciate the support as we continue to grow the channel and support males and fatherhood and everything in between. So till next time, peace and blessings. Real men get it done.